How you doing today? Friends, family, Facebook, YouTube. It's Monday, it's 11:24 at night. I don't have a lesson. Not today. For some time, the Most High wanted me to tell you guys, let you guys know who I am. To tell you about my awakening. And also me hearing the voice of the Most High. So tonight, I'm gonna let you guys know who I am. Tell you a little bit about me. I'm from Florida. My father, he's a Marine. And he was a Pentecostal pastor for over 25 years. So I'm a preacher's son. My father don't preach anymore. After my parents got divorced, he remarried and moved on. Well, anyway, after high school, Florida, I moved in with my grandmother. Stayed with her before she died. At that time, I had a girlfriend. We had 2 kids together. One day, she didn't want to be with me no more. So she left me with the kids. She told me to take care of the kids until she get her life together. Well, she ended up moving to St. Louis, Missouri with a new boyfriend. Me, I ended up calling my parents to pick me up, to bring me here to Baltimore, Maryland, before they got divorced. So I've been here in Maryland raising my 2 kids. I met another woman. We had kids together. And she had 2 previous kids before we met. Time goes by. We have kids together. And we have a total of 9 kids. Total of 9 kids together. I was attending a church in Westminster, Maryland. A Gentile church, a Pentecostal church. I was going there faithfully every Sunday for about 4 or 5 months. One particular day, I woke up and I was getting ready for work. At this time, I got my own company. I run my own business. I do heating and air conditioning for a living, so I fix and repair ACs, heat pumps, gas furnaces. Well, anyway, this morning, that morning that I woke up, I was getting ready for work. Can't believe I'm about to tell y'all this, but I was on Pornhub. And while I was on Pornhub, in my wickedness, a video came to my phone. It just appeared out of nowhere. The whole screen on my phone went towards the left. And there was a woman standing in Israel in the desert with her son. Now, I don't know how this video popped up on my phone, but I didn't like it because I was on Pornhub. So I started pushing the buttons on my phone, and my phone is not operating. I can't go back to Pornhub. My phone's not acting right. So I shut it off. Restart, reboot my phone. I get back on Pornhub, and the video comes back on my phone. Like, everything goes to the left, and I got this video again of this woman and her son standing in the middle of the desert. My phone's not operating right again. I restarted, rebooted again. I get back on Pornhub. Same thing happens. I'm looking at this woman in the desert with her son. So I said to myself, if I push play, maybe it'll go away. So I hit play, and I listened to what she had to say. And what she said was, you black people in America, you don't know who you are, but you are Yahweh's people, and you need to come to Jerusalem to save them. That we are the saviors of the world. And I thought it was the most craziest thing I ever heard. I got upset. I started cussing at my phone, especially at the woman. I wanted to get back on Pornhub, you know. So after I listened to the video, I thought it was crazy. I got back on Pornhub. And when I got back on Pornhub, I heard a loud voice. This voice was so loud that it shook the house. And it said, listen. It scared me. I walked out of the bathroom. I went downstairs. I have a dog in the house. She's in the cage. I have a cane corso. And she's just laying in the cage. I figured someone was in my house. If someone was in my house, she'd be barking. But she wasn't barking. So I go to the basement. I make sure the doors was locked. I come back upstairs. Make sure the front door was locked. At this point, I got goosebumps all over my body right now. Because I don't know where this voice came from or who spoke this voice. I'm scared. I'm in the house alone with my dog. I'm about to go to work and I'm scared. I'm not even thinking about Pornhub no more. I want to know who in the hell spoke to me. Who's in the house? Who spoke that loud voice? Why did the whole house shake? The windows rattle? I'm scared. So I jump in the shower to take a shower. And while I'm taking the shower, I had a childhood memory come to my mind. I remember asking my mother, where did we come from? Who are we? And she told me we come somewhere in Africa. And that was the only thing she could tell me at that time. Somewhere in Africa. But I was always curious. I wanted to know where we come from. But that was a memory a long time ago, and I forgot about it. So after my shower, I picked up my phone and I wanted to hear the video again. And she said, you black people in America, you've been lied to. You've been lied to. And that you're Yahweh's children. I never heard the word Yahweh before. And she said that you need to come to Jerusalem to save us. Still, I'm still scared because I don't know who spoke to me. I didn't know who yelled at me. So I get into my truck and I listen to the video again and again and again. So I proceeded to go to my first call. At this time, I got about $400 in my van. 50s and a couple of hundreds. A total of $400. So when I left the house, I came to a stoplight. Red light. And at the corner was a woman. My people. So-called African American. And she had a sign in her hand that she was hungry and that she needed money. Now the voice that I heard in the house that yelled at me, spoke to me again. But it wasn't a loud voice, it was a calm voice. And he said, bless her, my child. So I gave her $50. She put her sign down, she packed her backpack up, and she walked away. And she said, thank you, God bless you. Well, the $50 that I gave her was enough for her to go and feed herself, take care of herself. So I'm traveling down through Baltimore. I'm in the city. And it seemed like all day long, someone had a sign that they needed money, that they'll work for food, or they're homeless on the street. And here's the voice again. Bless him. Bless him, my child. I blessed him. Well, anyway, I make it through the day, running service calls. And I swear everybody had a sign that day at a red light. Before you know it, I gave away $400 that day. And I got home and I couldn't believe that I gave away $400. Well, anyway, later on that night, I got an email from from a customer that wanted me to replace their air conditioning unit. And in that email, it said job approved. The total job was for $8,000. So I gave away $400 that day. And later on that night, I got a job approved for $8,000. So when I woke up the next morning, I went to the bank and I replaced the $400 that I gave away the previous day. I think I took out about $600 that day. And I said, if this happens again, I'm not going to have any $100 bills given away. So the teller made it $50, a total of about $600. It seemed like that day kept repeating itself over and over the rest of the week. And every night that I get home, I would always get an email. Job approved, $5,000. Job approved, $8,000, $10,000. By the end of the month, there was $50,000 in my bank. This was 3 years ago. I had to tell somebody. So I told my mother what was going on with me and about the video that I saw. I didn't tell her about the Pornhub. I kept that out. But I told her. And she said maybe I need to talk to a pastor. Next time you go to church on Sunday, talk to the pastor. I didn't want to talk to the pastor. During that month, after me watching that video, I seen these Hebrew Israelites on YouTube. Some was wearing red, purple, green, black. And they was bringing out scriptures of how we came from Africa and slave ships and giving scriptures and everything. And during that time I was listening, the Most High told me to listen to it. The scriptures that was being said was scriptures that I've never heard before. I never heard them in the church before. I never heard these scriptures sound like that. I liked it. The following month, between 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I would be asleep and I hear that voice again. Wake up, my child. I'm dead in my sleep and I wake up immediately. And the next thing the Most High said to me was, find me. How can I find you, Most High? I don't even have a Bible right now. So the next day I went to the store, Barnes & Nobles, and I bought 3 Bibles. 3 different Bibles of the King James Version. And at the same time, the Most High wanted me to listen to the brothers on the street, the Hebrew, the Israelites. Matter of fact, he had me listening to him for about 3 months. This is one of the tablets that I got. Bear with me, let me grab the rest. I have a total of 4 tablets, all full of scriptures from the Israelites. All the camp members on the street corner. HOI, IUIC, a lot of camp members on the street, a lot of camps. ISUPK, Sakari. But I didn't know at that time that God, He was trying me. I learned so much that I wanted to join one of those camps. And I was debating on which one of these camps I wanted to join. And while I was debating, I started seeing things. Arguments, fights. Don't listen to that camp, join this camp. We the better camp. I seen a lot of beefing and contention going on. And I started thinking. I think God's trying me. He wants to see, am I going to join one of those camps? I said, nah, can't do that. I can't do that. So I got on my hands and knees and I prayed. I said, Most High, I've been listening to these camp members for 2-3 months. I wrote down every scripture that they wrote, that they gave. But it seemed like they're repeating the same scriptures over and over and over again. And I'm bored. Give me something new. And if you don't give me anything new, Most High, then I don't want to listen no more. So He gave me a pastor by the name of Falling-Jurrivh. And I listened to every one of his teachings online before I found out that he passed away. And when I was done with his teachings, I asked the Most High to give me someone else. And He gave me a guy by the name of Omar Theobex, Church of Philadelphia, somewhere in Louisiana. And the first message I listened to was 3 hours long. I was leaving DC from a job out there. And on my way back to Baltimore, I stopped at Burger King to feed my 2 oldest kids. And while I was in the drive-thru, I thought it was raining hell. I thought it was raining hell. But I looked at the cars in front of me. There was nothing hitting and falling on those cars. Until one of those, it wasn't hail, it was rocks. It hit my windshield and I seen it. I'm like, oh my God, someone's throwing rocks at my vehicle. And it wasn't just one, it was just coming like, it was like it felt like 100 people was throwing rocks at my van. So immediately I put it in reverse and I backed out of Burger King to get on the highway to flee from what was going on. I was being attacked. But I couldn't get into the highway because there was so much traffic going on. And I said to myself, if one more rock hit my van, I'm going to get out and I'm going to hurt somebody. That last rock hit my driver's side window. And it caused me to take my seatbelt off and to get out the vehicle. And the first person that walked up on me, I was ready for him. He pulls out a gun and he points it at my head. He's about 15 feet away from me. He's ready to pull the trigger on me. I throw my hands up. I backed away. I ran behind the vehicle. I ran across the street to the McDonald's. And there was an off-duty police officer there at the McDonald's watching the whole thing. He's on the phone with his department calling the police. There's a robbery in place. So while I'm standing right next to the officer, the brother that had the gun in my face pointing at me, he reaches into my work truck. He takes my phone. He didn't take the cash. He took my phone. And I was listening to a brother, like I said, by the name of Omar Theobex. The police showed up, 2 cop cars. My vehicle still at Burger King. My driver door is wide open. So I walked across the street, me and the officer, to meet the other officers. And the Burger King parking lot had about 1,000 rocks in it. And the first thing the police officer asked me was where the hell all these rocks come from. And I said, I don't know. The whole Burger King parking lot had rocks, and we don't even know where these rocks came from. I just had a gun pointed in my face, and he took my cell phone. And I was listening to this 3-hour sermon. So it was 8:30 at night. I didn't want to file a police report. I just wanted to go to the store to T-Mobile and get me another phone. So I made it before they closed. I got another phone. Everything is activated. I get back on YouTube. Exactly where I left off at with Pastor Omar preaching, I hit play to finish the sermon. I stopped somewhere else to feed my children. I made it home. It didn't bother me that I had a gun pointed at my face. I was just more concerned of finishing that sermon. And like I said, every night that I went to sleep, the Most High would always wake me up between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. And he would always say, find me. Find me, my child. I started getting real bored. I asked the Most High to give me someone else. Give me someone else that can teach me the Bible the way that I can understand. Give me someone that's not cussing, that's not yelling. Give me someone that's telling me that Gentiles can't get into the kingdom of heaven. Give me somebody. Give me somebody reliable. And he gave me Elder Ayel. That brother scared me when I first hit play. He spoke with a loud voice. Real loud. So I started listening to him. Before you know it, I listened to every one of his teachings on YouTube. And he broke it down so beautifully. At this time, my girlfriend, she's pregnant with her last child. And at the same time, I need some answers. I need to talk to somebody. So my best friend, he's a 7-day Adventist. I told him what was going on. He couldn't help me. He told me to come to his church and talk to his pastor. So I went on a Sabbath day. I drove out to West Virginia. And I wanted to meet the pastor. I wanted to know why. Why is God talking to me? At this time, I wasn't understanding why is he talking to me. Why is he telling me to give away money and blessing me twice as much that I'm giving away? What's going on? So I sat through the sermon, but he wasn't preaching what Elder Ayel was preaching. I was bored sitting there. After church service, he asked me how was the sermon. I was bored. You ain't preaching what my elder's preaching. You ain't preaching what these cats is preaching on YouTube. You're boring me right now. So I went back to the other church that I was going to on Sunday. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm trying to remember everything 3 years ago. Anyway, my wife found out she was pregnant, and she wanted me to take off one day from work. And we go to this clinic. And when I went inside this clinic, it felt dark to me. Even though there was lights in the building, in the room, it seemed like the walls was dark to me. It was dark to me for some reason. And I heard the Most High voice again. He said, go out, my son. He said, leave, go outside. So I go outside, and I said, what is it, Most High? What's going on? He said, type in the address where you at. So I typed it in. And the address told me Planned Parenthood, abortion. My heart stopped.